Singapore, an island nation smaller than New York City, stands as the wealthiest country in Asia and one of the richest globally. Its GDP per capita has outstripped that of the UK, the US, France, and other developed nations. Over the past 6 decades, Singapore has metamorphosed from a colonial trading port into a vibrant financial hub that countries around the world look to as a model for building a robust, high-tech economy. This remarkable transformation is the result of meticulous planning by a single ruling party that has been in power since the nation's independence. But what's the secret behind Singapore's success? And with its first leadership change in 20 years, can this prosperity continue? When Singapore gained independence in 1965, its first Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew and the founding leaders faced a significant economic challenge: a lack of natural resources. To develop an export-led economy and attract foreign capital, they need to build a manufacturing base. Strategically located with access to the Strait of Malacca, the Indian Ocean, and the South China Sea, Singapore was well placed to become a pivotal shipping hub. Initially focusing on labor-intensive industries to reduce high unemployment, Lee envisioned manufacturing as merely the first step towards a more advanced economy. He laid essential foundations: a solid financial and legal system, stable governance, efficient public transport, and world-class healthcare. In the 1980s, Lee pivoted towards what would become Singapore's most significant wealth generator.
We'll make it, and we'll need no help.
Finance. Inspired by financial hubs like the US and UK, he liberalized the financial services sector with lighter regulation. This approach bore fruit, attracting over 4,200 multinational companies to establish their regional headquarters in Singapore. Low corporate taxes, at just 17% and potentially lower for specific activities, played a crucial role. Lee's successor, Goh Chok Tong, continued to attract big business, steering Singapore towards a knowledge-based economy that emphasized creativity and entrepreneurship. In 2004, Lee Hsien Loong, Lee Kuan Yew's eldest son, became prime minister. He recognized that to maintain the influx of businesses and wealth, Singapore needed to be an attractive place to live. A strategic land reclamation project that began in the 1970s facilitated this transformation. Over the years, the reclaimed land was used not just for offices and housing, but also for entertainment hubs, reshaping the city's skyline. Initiatives like hosting the phone night race and opening integrated resorts, casinos, capitalized on booming Chinese and Indian economies, attracting the region's ultra-wealthy. Consequently, the total value of assets under management in Singapore skyrocketed from $420 billion at the start of Lee Hsien Loong's tenure to $3.6 trillion by 2022. Despite its economic triumphs, Singapore faces criticism for its restrictions on civil liberties and the media. Under Lee Kuan Yew's governance, the climate of fear deterred government criticism. Subsequent governments have maintained tight control, with protests still largely illegal. The government recognizes the changing demographics and more vocal citizenry, and it must stay competitive as other nations adopt its growth model. Climate change also poses a significant threat to national security. Lawrence Wong, Singapore's new prime minister, inherits a complex landscape. Wong, who grew up in public housing, earned praise for his leadership during the COVID-19 response and is seen as having a common man's touch. He advocates building on existing strengths and reinforcing successful strategies. While the People's Action Party remains in power, its popularity is waning, and political competition is intensifying. The wealth Singapore has accumulated brings its own set of challenges. Housing prices and the cost of living have risen. The influx of foreign labor, integral to the growth model, has sparked concerns about job competition among citizens. Despite statistical reductions in inequality, some residents feel left behind. Additionally, the rapidly aging population will strain workforce growth and government spending. Wong's task is to manage discontent and guide Singapore's ongoing evolution into a tech hub, ensuring that the city-state's hard-earned success continues to flourish in the years to come.